At Tenacious D's live show in Australia, Jack Black presented a birthday cake to his friend and bandmate Kyle Gass. They sang the happy birthday song along with thousands of fans as Black cues up Gass. Here's what transpired.
Make a wish, cake! Don't miss Trump next time.
This has now led to a bombardment of calls for the cancellation of Tenacious D. So first we start with this. Jack Black would post on Instagram, "I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Saturday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans for their support and understanding." Gass would take to Instagram and issue this statement. Let's read along. "The line I improvised Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence of any kind, in any form, against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down and truly regret any pain I have caused." When I say the reaction to this has been mixed, I mean it has been very mixed. Tenacious D, wrote one user, canceling their entire tour over a poorly timed joke is insane. Just say my bad and move on. No reason all those people have to have their plans canceled and lose the joy of seeing the band. We really are a soft bunch of folks these days. Another user would add, Jack Black turning his back on Kyle Gass. We live in unprecedented times. Yet on the other side of the aisle, Australian conservatives would take this time to promote themselves previously as free speech warriors and also call for the cancellation of Tenacious D. Who is on your screen? That's Senator Ralph Babbitt, a United Australia Party member. By the way, if you're watching this in Australia, hello, you know about this guy, but the Americans don't, so let's talk about him. Here is what you may remember him from. Such hits as taking a photo with a proud neo-schmazi who gives the big H salute. He would distance himself from this picture. Babbitt would take cues from conservatives in the United States, and he would rail on the school system, forcing teachers of, quote, secular ideas on sex and gender. He did this all while speaking on the floor, by the way. Here's another snippet of him.
The ALRC wants to make religious schools abandon beliefs about human sexuality that have been around for thousands of years. In place of those sacred beliefs, they want to turn Christian schools into a mouthpiece for their own woke fads that weren't even in fashion 5 years ago. Everyone in this place should reject the ALRC's woke bigotry.
Then, before I even move forward, ridiculous, obviously. It goes without saying. It's ridiculous. There was even a report that I feel this is intertwined, and I'm blanking on what outlet it is. We'll put it in post. But Arizona schools are now facing severe budget cuts because a lot of the tax money in the state has gone to private institutions, some religious schools as well. I truly believe this is all by design. It is by design to absolutely dismantle the public education system and have everybody, if they can afford it, go private, and have the best teachers go private. So that way they could say, hey, you could come here, you got to pay high fees, and you got to read the 10 Commandments when you walk in the door, as an example. There was another photo Babbitt was in that led to him being under fire. A veterans group in the country accused the senator of politicizing the military when he never served. He was literally cosplaying through all of this. Here's another big divide between Australia and the States. When it's the States, they'll dress up, right? They'll go in there. I remember there was a representative who wore his military garb when he was talking about what's happening in the Middle East. Man, I'm blanking on that guy's name. He is a total a-hole. Total. But that was accepted by Republicans and conservatives and many others. Leftists hated it. Liberals were like, kind of F with it. In Australia, it's a huge no-no. From SBS.com, Australian Defence Association Executive Director Neil James said by not providing context for the photo, the post could imply that the senator was a veteran or was backed by the Australian Defence Force. 1,000% yes. A lot of people, as I've come to realize through these last few election cycles, they don't pay attention to this stuff. So anybody who sees that photo on the surface will say, oh, he served. Oh, and he's a senator. Well, I served. I served. I'm a veteran. He's got my vote. Like that's how little people look into this stuff. So I completely agree with Executive Director James when he says this. Here's another note. James, who spent more than 30 years in various Army roles, said any politician should know better than blurring the lines between politics and Australia's armed forces. My God, that is a breath of fresh air. If only there were more stateside that went by this, we would be in a much better place. Missing the parliamentary exchange program is disgraceful. If it's not seen in context, Joe Average looking at it might think the person is being endorsed by the Defense Forces. This is Smith again. James. If he uses the photo in any other context ever, we'll be onto him like a jackhammer, as we would with any member of parliament. Damn. There was this also. In September of 2023, Senator Babbitt would write, I have always been a great admirer of the United States, but to see the deterioration in America over the past 4 years has truly been heartbreaking. He would give the full endorsement of Donald Trump. Again, it shouldn't be a surprise. Additionally, Babbitt, who has described COVID-19 vaccines as, quote, emergency use gene therapy, well, that's dumb, and suggested essay allegations leveled at actor Russell Brand, brace yourselves, were the work of, quote, The Matrix, criticized the media for failing to cover important issues adequately. My brother in Christ, did you not see the documentary? Have you not read the reports? Or are you just really desperate to be in that orbit of conservatives? I would say it's honestly a mixture of both. He also, in pure Trumpian fashion, claims to have not taken a paycheck from his family's real estate business while serving as a senator. I also saw an exchange he had with an activist where they were questioning, I believe it was a photo he recently took at his family's business, and he said, oh yeah, I work for free on the weekends. Dude, I don't take a dime from the company. That could be true. The Guardian found that he did not violate or breach any rules going against the code of conduct. But what I would say is I have a hard time believing you. Additionally, here is what, and why we introduced him that way. Here is what he decided to do after all this happened in his country of Australia. That also feels really short-sighted of me to say, because it's like he rules the country. In his home country of Australia, he would release a statement calling for the band members of Tenacious D to be deported from the country. To be deported. You make a joke about my president, even though I am a free speech advocate, you get deported. Hypocrisy. Steaming levels of hypocrisy. Babbitt would go on to say, and I quote, I call on the Prime Minister to join me in denouncing Tenacious D, and I call on the Immigration Minister to revoke their visas and deport them immediately. Insane. That is insane. We're running out of time. How do you feel about this? What should happen? Leave a comment in the comments section below. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.